All right, YouTube, I wanted to show you a quick look today at the Hinderer MP-1. This is the one in green black G-10, the stone washed sheep's foot blade. This is what the box it came in, just like all the other Hinderers. And I'm constantly buying, selling, and trading, so I traded a guy for this knife. I had it for a couple weeks, and I saw another knife I wanted, and I'm actually going to be trading this one too. And so, kind of a vicious cycle, but I'll be showing you the knife that I got in trade for this one in another video. But yeah, this is the green and black G10. I really like that. I like it better than just the straight black. I really wanted one with my Carter, but I like this G10. So I guess we'll just look at the knife. We'll start with the blade. Really nice stone wash on this blade. I like Hinderer stone wash. Little swedge here coming down on the sheep's foot blade. It's got a nice point here. A good close up there. USA made, S35VN steel. I like the etching on the outline around that. It's pretty cool. There's the Hinderer Knives logo there. So it's a nice. It came sharp. I like the blade shape. It's got some jimping here at the top. Not real aggressive, but it's nice. I like it. It has these thumb studs, I guess you could call it. They're not blade stops like on an XM18 because they don't contact the knife there. But at the same time, you can't really open the knife with it. At least I can't. You have to put some serious pressure behind it to be able to use it. So I don't know. The D10 is too strong to really use it as a thumb stud, but I guess that's what it is. Let's talk about the action. The D10 is stronger than the average XM that I've had. It's really easy to flip for me. You can light switch it. I've heard some of these didn't have a good D10, so I don't know if they're all the same or not. Mine's pretty good. It can fail if you just barely press it. It's not the strongest D10 ever, but for me it's good. Plus, if you're used to already flipping a Hinderer, this will be even better. And it has good action that just falls closed, which is nice. So I don't have any complaints with the action or anything. It's kind of a heavy knife. I should have looked before I did the video, but I want to say it's close to getting close to 5 ounces. I used to have the full tie version of this a long time ago. I think I have a video on my channel of that. And I do prefer the G10 model. It takes a little bit of the weight off. So, what else? Let's look here. So, these studs weren't blade stops. The stop pin, it's kind of a cool design that I like. It's the stop pin is actually built into the tang of the knife there, so it just stays with the blade. So when it opens, it's got these 2 grooves cut out right here that it rides in. Then when it locks, it just locks into place right there, which I thought is pretty cool. Better than having just a stop pin that it slams into. The pin's just built into that. It just follows that channel. I think, is it the blade stop? So let's see. Blade stop. Yeah, I think it runs into the other side right there to stop the blade from falling through when it's closed. So it's got the Teflon washers or nylon washers like most Hinderers do. But they are coming out with the new tri-way pivot system, so if you haven't heard of that, you might want to check that out. 3 different ways you can do your pivot. You can use how they usually come with the nylon, or you can use the phosphor bronze washers, or you can use ball bearings. So let's look at the other side here. I got a blue lock bar stabilizer on right now. Thought it added a little bit to it. I like this little milling they do in the lock bar cutout. It's kind of neat. Standard Hinderer clip, no problems with that. It's got a little bit of texturing right here. On the full-time model, well actually on this too, it's the same texture as here. It's pretty smooth though, not very aggressive. I think it's mostly just for looks to match the other side. That's another thing, these screws on the MP-1 I like because they're completely flush with the scale. You don't feel anything raised on those handle screws. You do a little bit here, but that's supposed to be like that for the pivot screw. Same screws here on the back. Got a filler tab here. Nice cutout. Nice stonewash too on this titanium. So, the big deal with the MP-1, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was like, he has a lot of different knives now, Rick Hinderer does. And I think this was like the first one after the XM18 recently. Like it was before the half track, the Jurassic, and the other ones he has now. And when it came out, it was called the MP-1, stood for Modular Platform 1, which had to do with this backspacer here. It is removable, and they have different kind of backspacers you can put in it. It's got a set screw right there. Undo the set screw real quick. This whole piece will pop out, and you can interchange it or just leave it off, I guess. The standoffs don't look like this. I just happen to have one here. They don't look like a XM standoff. They're a little bit skinnier and able to hold this backspacer in. So I think the standard one is the lanyard attachment. I'm not sure if they have one that's just flush with the handle or not, but I think they have one that's like a bottle opener. The flipper tab doesn't have any jimping, and there's no jimping behind where you flip, which is a big deal for some people, I guess, since they say that it, scratches up your finger on the XM18 when you flip it. But it has enough of a curve there so you can get a good grip on it, I think. And when you come back, it's all smooth back here. There's nothing sharp at all. So that's nice. The action's really good. Might be a little off center because I took it apart and cleaned it, but I didn't Loctite the pivot, so it might have moved a little bit. Looks pretty good. Back to the blade, it does have this little choil here, but I know it's not as big as a XM18 forward finger choil. I would probably only use it with just a little bit of my finger in it if I ever did use it, because it's not that wide. You can definitely use it like if you're doing like a light, small, precise task. I wouldn't have a problem cutting something slow like this with it, but I wouldn't want to just bear down probably with it, but it's there. And for nothing else, it's good for sharpening. So one of my favorite things about this knife is the ergos are great. I don't think it matters what size hand you have, this knife is going to fit your hand great. It's just super comfortable in this grip. I have medium-sized hands, and you can see I got a little bit hanging off the back there. So if you have bigger hands, it'll probably still fit you good. That's just one of the best things I think about this knife, is just it feels so good in the hand. You can see just the natural curves there. Nothing sharp. All these ridges are really smooth. And like most Hinderers, or all Hinderers I should say, really easy to disengage the lock. That's something I love about Hinderer knives. It's really easy to disengage the lock, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's nice. So that's pretty much it, I guess. I want to get one of Rick's new 3-inch models. He actually just released some in M390 with no choil that had the tri-way pivot system, and also had he has on his, what is it, Gen 5 XM18s. The this one doesn't have it, but the steel lock bar insert. So I think he had the lock bar insert was Gen 5 on the 3.5 inch, and then he added the tri-way pivot system, which would make the 3.5 inch with those Gen 6s. But the Gen 3s, not the 3-inch models came out with both of them together, the lock bar insert and the pivot system. So I'm not sure what generation they're going to be on. They were one behind the 3.5 inch model. So, but anyway, I want to get one of those eventually. But I guess I'll do a few size comparisons for you here. I'll just have a couple knives. Let's see. I just got this knife in, the Bento Box Para 3. See, it's a little bit smaller. Really like that knife. Here's a Spyderco Techno. I don't have a whole lot of knives as many knives as I used to. So there's that little size comparison. Let me show you against this Delica. So there it is against the Delica. Delica's pretty close to the Para 3 there. Not a whole lot of difference. More handle on the Para 3. The only bigger knife I have right now would be this Manix 2. This thing's huge. I got this in a trade. I didn't really want it, but the Manix 2 XL. You can see how big of a knife that is. Kind of similar handle shape though, right there going on. But so yeah. So it's a medium-sized knife. It's a little bit smaller than the 3.5 inch XM18 if that's what you got. So, give you one last look at it here before I go close up. All right, y'all have a good one.